Happy Thursday. This is Laurie-Ann, and you are listening to Be in Demand. This is the podcast where I help entrepreneurs just like you leverage speaking opportunities as your best form of marketing to get positioned as the expert and monetize your message. Today is a special speaker breakthrough session. Abbe, thank you so much for joining me. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you for having me. This is so exciting. I'm Abbe Feder. I'm the owner of InCircle Fertility and host of the Fertility Chick Podcast. Went through my own crazy journey, and now I help other people going through infertility.
Thank you. Thank you for what you do.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that you've come on to this particular recording, and here's what I want to get out of this. Tell me what you want to get out of this call.
I am feeling, and tell me if this is too broad when you can help me narrow it down. I'm feeling sort of burnt out from the hustle of one-on-one coaching. It's my favorite kind of work to do. But I feel like I'm grappling right now to attract a wide audience to get into my one-on-one coaching, and it's wearing me out.
Are you doing a lot of one-on-one, or you feel like you're not finding the right people to come into your one-on-one world?
So I don't feel like I'm finding the right people. I think it ebbs and flows, and I understand that, right? Like sometimes I have a huge amount of wonderful, rich, like meaningful clients where they understand the dynamic of the relationship. And then, it sort of trickles off from here to there. And like right now, I feel like whoever I'm even meeting with for a one-on-one, I don't feel like I'm a fit for them. And I'm always very honest about that. And I don't feel like they're a fit for me either. So I'm not sure what the disconnect is that's happening all of a sudden, but it's like exhausting me.
I bet. And are you doing a lot of speaking to attract those people?
I think I do. I do a lot of, maybe not in the right places. I do news appearances. I have my podcast. I do IG lives. I'm on other people's podcasts. And I will say some of the people's podcasts that I'm on, if it's like a fertility doctor, for example, that will be usually an influx of people for me. But you can only go on them. So there's a finite number of great fertility doctors that have podcasts. So that's not like a slam dunk every time.
Okay. Are you speaking to the audience, like literally calling them in, whether it's on a stage, on your IG, on a podcast? If you are, and you can literally list off X, Y, Z, you should book a call with me.
I'm
Like
not doing that.
literally calling them forward, because people will self-identify. Oh, I'm 1 and 2. I don't think I'm 3, but I'm going to book the call anyways.
I am not doing it that specifically at all.
Okay. That's one idea.
Okay, great. Thanks for talking. No, I'm just kidding. That is so helpful.
Yeah, we're not done. We're not
Thank
done.
God we're not done. No, I mean, that is so helpful. I think I got more on the I need to be an expert and show that I'm an expert train in terms of what I'm putting out than the calling in. I think I sort of forgot about that piece of it for a minute.
Yeah, because when you are sharing with your audience, these are the type of people that I work best with. These are the perfect people that work well through my program. People self-identify. If they're going to get on a sales call with you, they're basically going to be convincing you to take them on as clients. They're going to tell you why they're good for your program. But also at the same time, by you sharing that sort of information with people, everybody who's hearing it, they can go off when they hear the right information. Oh, you need to talk to, let me send you Abbe's podcast. Let me send you Abbe's website. You need to go follow her on Instagram.
I love that.
And another idea is about repeat business.
Yes.
The fertility doctors. How many fertility doctors have you been on their podcast? Because I hear what you're saying, that there's a limited number of fertility doctors that have podcasts.
Honestly, 3. But those are like my favorite 3. I don't know that there are a ton more. Those are like the 3 really popular ones. But you're right. I mean, there's no reason I can't go back to them. Right?
Yeah, you should sending them out an email that says like, hello, Dr. Such and Such. I can't believe it's been a year since I've been on your podcast. It's like I blinked and 12 months disappeared, and just Basically, hey, this is what happened. I hope that he got a lot of downloads from it also.
Sure.
Maybe just exchanging that information and just wondering if you being on his show was as beneficial as you being on his show, his or her.
Hmm. They're all
Because
women,
maybe
actually. But
they're
yes.
all women. Okay. So,
Yes.
and bringing you back
Yes.
to
I
talk
love
about
that.
something else. Maybe it's something that's new in technology and some new research.
Hmm.
But also, have you thought about speaking at their medical conference?
Nope. Well, that's not true. Have I thought about it? Yes. Have I made action toward doing it? No.
Okay.
Um, the reproductive health medical conferences are pretty big.
Mhm.
And so I think, and I'm not a shy violet, or as my mother-in-law says, I'm not a shrinking violet. Like I could pretty much talk anywhere, anytime, any place about anything. I think I'm just not sure what that would look like at a medical conference, you know? And so I just am like, I don't know. I'm going to not go there.
Okay. Well, there's so many medical conferences. Like I am literally outside of Boston, like one of the medical meccas of the country.
Yes.
And there's so many medical conferences, so many healthcare associations also. So it
Yes.
doesn't necessarily have to be the big conference. It could be a chapter meeting.
Love that.
So the three physicians, you've been on their podcasts.
Hmm.
Also, I would also encourage you that when you do have some sort of a follow-up coffee chat,
Hmm.
just maybe to talk about you being on their podcast, but also what conferences are they attending or meetings do they attend regularly? And then do they know anybody who's part of the hiring process or even just in part of the organization?
Yeah,
Because it can be who you know.
totally. Totally. I live in LA. It's everything is who you know. I get it. I get it. I love that. And do you know, like, I really don't. Will they give me the specifications of what they want in terms of length of presentation and if they want a deck and like, or do I come prepared? Like, here's what I can do. I can do a 10-minute talk on this or what's a better way to approach it?
So my approach to whenever you're trying to get booked is we are just opening the door to having the conversation. It's not, hey, you should book me. It's
Okay.
let's talk about your event. Is there a theme? How many speakers are you planning? Are you having breakout sessions? So you're gathering information along with when do you start planning this conference or when do you plan ahead for the monthly meetings? You're just gathering information so that you can then submit that information. And then, like, who should I be speaking to? Who's in charge of booking the speakers?
Great. Love this.
And then I would also tell you, keep a running document with all of your pitches. And when I say all of your pitches, I mean, like, here's the name of my speech, and
Yeah.
here's the information about the talk. Just have a nice running list of them because you're reading some sort of call for speakers for a particular conference. This sounds so familiar. I should submit one that I've already done. And it's like a cut and paste, maybe a little tweak
Yeah.
here and there, but make your life
I love
easy.
that. Yeah. Keep it easy. Totally. Like, I do
Yeah.
have that for news outlets. Like, here's my booking sheet. Here's the questions you can ask me. And they're always like, oh my God, you're a genius. And it's only because I learned it from somebody who's also a genius like you.
Oh, thank you. But that's speaking will literally start to snowball. You got to put in
Okay.
a little bit of effort in the beginning, but then if you are outstanding on the stage, people will refer you all day long. Because what I tell
I love
people is
that.
you want the three C's to lead to the three R's. You want to be compelling, captivating, and most importantly, converting. And when you're really good on the stage, your audience will remember you, they will rave about you, and they will refer you.
I love that.
So then
I'm
also just
writing.
having like a little bit of a process afterwards. You ask for testimonials, you ask to be referred to any other groups that they know that might benefit from your talk. Probably the same thing that you're doing with your podcast guesting.
Totally. And the thing is, I refer clients to doctors, and the ones that I refer over and over, I have a great relationship with. So even though I haven't been on their podcast per se, I could certainly reach out to them and say, ask them these medical conference questions. Where do you go? Where should I go? Where do you think this would be valuable?
Mhm.
Kind of thing. It's a really good way to approach it.
Absolutely. They can refer you. They'll tell you who the meeting planners are, who the conference organizers are, because they probably are already in contact with them also, especially if these physicians that you're talking about, especially if they do any speaking.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Which
bet
some of them do.
yes. So they're going to know who to reach out to, and they can even make that warm introduction.
Right.
And you have, like with the podcast, you have something for meeting planners to go and listen to and be like, oh, wow, this woman knows her stuff. Let's
Right.
bring her in.
Love that. Okay, I love this idea.
You got lots of ideas now.
I got so many ideas, I know, but this one especially. It just makes the thought of speaking at a medical conference more approachable the way that you just broke it down for me. Because I think it feels so big sometimes that I just push it away.
Yeah. No, they're always looking for speakers.
Yeah.
Always looking for good speakers. That's the thing about the medical industry, and some of my clients are physicians, is that doctors can be rather flat.
Yeah.
And they're just like, they're reading off these slides and they're study after study. So the more dynamic and interesting you can be, the more they're going to call you back.
Yes. Love that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So Abby, what's one or two gold nuggets that you're like,
gold nuggets,
I'm going to
gold nuggets.
Yeah, this is what I'm walking away with, and this is what I'm going to do next?
Well, the CCCRRR is very helpful, right? In terms of an approach, this is a nugget in terms of approaching how I want to go to a conference and speak. I want to be compelling. I want to be captivating. I want to make sure that I leave an impression so that they refer me. And because I really represent a different side of the fertility picture than the doctor does, I feel like it's such an important piece to bring to a conference. And you're honestly just reminding me of that. And then just this nugget of going back to these same doctors and saying, what else can we work on together? And if it's not a new podcast episode, maybe it's an IG Live. And if it's not an IG Live, maybe it's I don't know, we can figure it out, but not to exhaust that resource, but to continue to use it as a resource.
Yeah. And I think by you getting in front of the right people, like physicians, they'll be able to refer you. And then there's other conferences that you'll probably be able to discover where your ideal clients are sitting in that audience, and you'll be able to call them forward.
Yes. And the calling forward is obviously huge. I'm going to really work on that too in terms of my social media stuff.
Good. Good. Oh, this has been so much fun. I'm glad that.
Thank you. It was
glad that you said yes to doing this.
Yes, it's amazing. Like so many nuggets packed into such a short time.
And would you share with the audience where they can find you? Do a huge shout out for your business, your coaching business, your podcast,
of course,
all the things.
Okay. So my coaching business is called InCircle Fertility, INCIRCLE. InCircle, it's like up level your inner circle is how I like to think about it. So you can find me on Instagram at InCircle Fertility, or the Fertility Chick, which is my podcast, which you can download anywhere podcasts are available. And let me just say, this podcast is not just for people who have gone through or are going through infertility. It really talks about all kinds of grief and loss and what it's like to manage those things while also trying to balance a career and a life. And if you've ever loved somebody who's going through infertility, which I guarantee you have, or pregnancy loss, which I guarantee you have, this podcast is for you. It's just like a great way to learn about how to be there and show up for the people that you love. The Fertility Chick. Yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Are you tired of hearing crickets on social media? Wondering where to get seen by the right people? Or frustrated with the growth of your business? Then the Speaker Breakthrough Session is just for you. During this free 20-minute discovery call, I'll help you recognize where you're leaving money and opportunity on the table. You'll walk away with tips and a strategy to leverage speaking opportunities to get positioned as the expert, visible to the right people, and monetize your expertise. Book your call at speakandstandout.com/SBS for Speaker Breakthrough Session.